Hey guys, Max 2015. How are you guys doing tonight? Tonight it's a special episode yet because we hit another milestone for the channel, which is 1,700 victory points, 1705 to be precise, as I'm sitting right now. Although there's still a couple of bases on my map that I want to attack, but I just thought I'd make this video because I have a few replays, and surprisingly, you guys can see I have heavy Zuka training, but all of the attacks I did tonight were done with TRM. So tanks, rifles, and medics got the job done so far. Not a lot of losses at all, if any. In fact, I don't think I've lost any. Only a couple of times here to Jun the Terror, which is a friend of mine from the Pretenders. The last one, it was just like a smiley face with gunboat energy. And these, well, I'm not gonna lie, I did try to raid him, but I kind of failed it, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. He does have 4 eye statues, so I'm gonna leave him. I mean, it kind of sucks that if I have to raid a friend of mine, so I'm just gonna leave Jun sitting in there for now. But the rest of the people, pretty good. You guys can see not a lot of fails at all. I don't know what happened. It's just one of those nights where everything kind of works. Before we get into these replays, with 1,705, we've also hit another all-time high, which is number 13 in the global leaderboard. And it looks like number 12 is pretty close, about 15 victory points away from us. I'm very confident we can catch up to him in a couple of days, if not sooner. 3 at most, it depends. But yes, it feels like that top 10, it's kind of closer, even though the number 10th player still has, 1789, which is quite a lot of victory points. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is that little we'll keep on chipping away at that leaderboard. So hopefully we can get to that top 10, which is probably my goal for the channel. And who knows what's going to happen after that. Anyhow, TRM tonight, let's get going because these things are super slow. So we have to start moving along. So first base here, I didn't even see the name of this guy. Man, that thing is loud. Ooh, how do we lower this? There we go. All right. Ooh, that volume was just like booming in my brain there. All right, so I think all of the bases I attacked tonight were corner bases with a shield generator and a laser beam, if I remember correctly. Yeah, actually, at least all of the ones that I used TRM with. Right here, I put a smoke to protect those medics, which kind of was a mistake because by protecting the medics, the boom cannon did take 2 shots, I think, at my tanks, and that kind of really defeated the purpose of having the medics. But who knows? Who cares? We're learning that way. Also notice this base has 5 eye statues. Only the 1 troop health masterpiece is boosted, so it wasn't really that much of a challenge. I did go in for obviously full 4 boost. Let's just go 2 times the speed because these things are just going to take absolutely forever to take. This base, I don't think there will be too much for us to look at here because it was the first base. It was also the easiest one with just the 1 troop building health masterpiece boosted. But the strategy was essentially the same here. I was just waiting for that laser beam to go down, and as soon as it went down, you guys noticed that I flared all the way to the back so we could start moving upwards from the left side of the beach, of the island, or of the base. That's what I wanted to say. Anyways, critters right there to distract the cannon, even though it was a little bit late because the cannon did take 1 shot at my tanks. There was a lot of red going on, so I kept on throwing critters. I wanted to save the shot launchers for the boom cannon and shot launcher right at the end there, so that's why I was throwing critters all over the place. I also did have a pretty fair number of tanks, so I was fairly confident. And once we got here, I had a lot of gunboat energy. I think I had a lot of GBE for shock, so I think I'm going to throw in, you see, 1 more shock at the end there, even though I didn't need it. So, and I had a lot of tanks, if you notice, so pretty good attack to start the night. Only Monster, that was the name of the base. And then MNS, which is a global player, 1,569 victory points. Me and him have gone back many months also. I think he has 6 eye statues, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 2 masterpieces on the top here. There's a guardian in there, and then the 3 little guardians right over here. Whoops, keep on tapping that boom. So 3 of the 6 boosted, so he's not a full boost, which is kind of good for me because the less boost, the easier the base, obviously. So same thing, put down all the tanks, put down the rifles in front of them. The rifles, well, mainly for that boom cannon and the cannon right there in the front, which is exactly what I needed. Although they didn't last too long because of the mortar here, the laser beam, and the rocket launcher, obviously. So those rifles actually went down super fast, but nothing you can do about that. As long as they save a few tanks from the first boom cannon and the cannon in the front, we're actually pretty good. So we can go 2 times the speed, reflare right in front of the shot launcher, and nicely, it was nice that I was able to shock the boom cannon cannon and rocket launcher at the same time there with one shock. So that worked out really, really well. Critters to distract the cannon at the end there. And notice that this one boom cannon all the way up here was completely out of range, so I never had to worry about it. So I only had to deal with 4 boom cannons in the entire base. The problem with this particular attack strategy was time. You'll see why. So flare straight to that boom cannon, shock it of course, get it out of commission. And then at this point let them take out the mortar, which was the last thing that could hit us. Well, second to last. The rocket launcher will keep on hitting us. But time, because now I'm down to like, I think what was it, like 8 tanks. And I needed them to wear down the entire shield, which was kind of up there. I think by the time I parked my tanks there, I had about a minute and 50 seconds left, minute and 45, give or take. So it seems like a lot of time, but at the same time, the tanks just shoot so slowly. So, you know, it was a bit of a gamble, but I'm not going to lie. I actually ended up beating this base with a lot of time left, like a good 30 seconds left. So it was plenty of time, but still, you know, you always worry when you only have a handful of tanks shooting at that shield at HQ. So next base, oh man, I forgot to look at the name again of this base, I'm so sorry. But this base has 5 ice statues, 4 of them boosted. There's the building damage and another guardian in there. So the building health, I'm sorry, wasn't boosted, but the other 4 were. So it's still a bit of a challenge. Similar layout, also notice that this boom cannon's all the way up here. It's a little bit closer inland than the last one was, so I still have to be careful. And I think it will eventually take 1 or 2 of my tanks, but it didn't matter. As long as you don't have to go head on and face it, I was good. So let the troops, again, same thing, let them clear up the front. Let all those rifles absorb all the shots. And you can see that they're already gone because of the rockets. I mean, the rockets can just melt these rifles so quickly. It really does suck. Right there, you can see the range of that boom cannon. So the bad thing is that in-game you can't really see the range. But during the replay you can do it, which is actually pretty sweet. So at this point I just kind of flare. And again, I was able to shock the shot launcher, boom cannon, cannon, and mortar, all with the same shock, which was pretty sweet. And all it was here, I think this base actually, even though it had more ice than the last base, this one was actually easier to take than the first one. So anyways, another shock, and just see the sheer amount of tanks that I had. I had a lot of tanks at this point. Critters, because I wanted to save a shock for that last boom cannon behind the HQ there. The laser beam is always super pesky, super annoying. It doesn't kill the tanks right away, but it does chip away at their health pretty strongly. One shock right there at the boom cannon, as you guys can see, and right there. I can't believe that boom cannon actually took down 2 of my tanks, because it looked like they were just on the edge of its range. But anyways, not so lucky there. Just by a couple of millimeters, I feel like we lost that. Anyhow, as soon as the last boom cannon behind the HQ went down, just flare all the troops downwards. I could have waited for them to take down the sniper tower, but I didn't really want to risk it. I just wanted them to just go down as soon as possible and then just start working on that HQ. Like I said, time is the biggest problem, because this time this base had more ice. He does have 3 building health, although only 2 of them were boosted. But you guys can see, you know, the tanks were able to bring it down. And he had so much time that I even threw a smoke to let that medic like heal a little bit, and then finish the base with just 1 single shot. So that was the 3rd base. Then we attacked Zenga, which is an NPC, and then People Caro, another base that we've taken down in this channel before. I struggled with the base yesterday because I kept on trying to do the heavy Zuka, smoky heavy Zuka attack that I'm learning from Come Back. So I kept on going and going, and it just wasn't working out. So but anyways, today it only took us 1 try. All it had to do, sometimes you really just have to leave the base alone, sit on it, and not stressed over it, and then just come in the next day with a fresh start. And you know, this time it only took me 1 try, which was actually pretty great. Similarly, I used the exact same strategy from the previous base, because this one boom cannon was all the way on the left side. And see, this is what I like. The last one, it was a little bit close inland, like I said, but this one was all the way up there, so it gave me a lot of space to play with the tanks in here. So that worked out really well. I did have to shock that boom cannon in the front because my rifles kind of died out, and I didn't want to risk anymore. And before the tanks got into the range of that boom cannon, I started flaring them in front of the shot launcher. I obviously shocked this boom cannon in here. Critters for the boom mine, and the critters will also help distract the boom cannon for a few seconds, which is essential, so it will buy our tanks enough time before we throw a shock right there. Notice that I had a lot more tanks in this attack, and we're actually doing better than the last one. That's until these two cannons start picking them off like flies. But I didn't want to waste any more of my GBE because I was saving it for the last boom cannon. So as soon as my tanks were able to finish it off, let them move just a little bit closer, finish off that mortar, flare to the bottom corner, just let them regroup. I was hoping they would take out the machine gun first, but yeah, right there. And then flare and shock the boom cannon. Did a little bit late. It did take a shock. It did take a shot and killed another one of my tanks. However, once we got here, it was pretty good. The tanks, naturally, just like Zukas, they'll fan out and start taking down the defenses around the HQ, which was essential. And I needed that sniper tower and, of course, the mortar to go down. We can go quicker here. And then there was no need to move them back. I mean, they were close enough to the HQ. The rocket launcher was locked on a couple of them, but nothing to be too concerned about. I had enough for a pack of critters. And I was debating whether I should put critters or a med kit because of that one red tank, but I decided to put the critters because, you know, they would help chip away at that HQ. So it just worked out well. And in the end, once the shield generator exploded, I got enough for the med kit anyway. So I think that'll be it for now. I mean, that was actually kind of quick. Once you go 4 times the speed, the video goes by pretty quickly. Alright guys, so hopefully you guys liked the video. 1700 victory points. Pretty sweet. I also noticed that at 1725, we'll make it to the Legends League, which is pretty sweet. And getting this badge seems like a pretty big deal. I mean, at least it is to me. It looks very distinctive. Not a lot of people have it. In fact, we can just look at that. 1700. Right now, only 11 people in the world have the Legends badge. Only 11 of them. So to be part of that club is actually pretty special, I think. So we'll keep on working, I think. I'm confident we can get there. And we'll see what happens. Alright guys, until then, I'll see you guys next time. I'm Max115. Keep on booming. Bye.